Bro, I'm just out here trying to get a Dom GF to help me move into this house by scary movie season, accepting applications.
Statistically, I don't think it's possible to see every movie.
It is. Even my communist ass thinks that over-unionization...
Welcome back to Off the Air, everyone, where we got our Twitter account suspended for reasons we don't understand.
Noah said the N-word on Twitter.
Noah confirmed. Said the N-word on Twitter. We all saw it. We tried to delete it fast enough, but we got reported before we could.
Yeah.
Well,
the last tweet on the account that anyone will ever see is just aw beans.
Freaking heck.
Wait, I thought people can't see the Twitter anymore. I don't know how this works. Hopefully by the time the episode comes out, it'll be fixed, though.
I mean, ideally, but...
That is the ideal situation, yes.
So yeah. I want to start things off on the right foot. Noah, you got a story about Staples and my thumbs, but hold up before you start.
Okay.
Is it the store Staples, or is this like the thing Staples?
This is like the thing.
The thing Staples?
Yeah, you know, like this
things that come out of staplers.
This thing.
Yeah. Okay. When you
thumb?
said store Staples, even in my head, like I still hadn't like gotten across that you meant the like I thought you meant staples that you use in a store for a second, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know why Noah would have those, but all right. Like, it took me a long second. Sorry, go on. It's fine. It's late. I'm tired. Go.
But Noah, is the story that you stapled your thumb?
Do you want me? I mean, see,
because if so, why did you say I have a good story about staples and my thumbs? If the story is just you stapling your thumbs, I'm unimpressed. But if it is something that does not involve you stapling your thumbs, I'm incredibly impressed.
Okay,
because otherwise you should have said I stapled my thumbs.
But here's the thing.
Spoiler alert: he stapled his thumbs.
Oh, absolutely, he stapled his thumbs.
Let me tell you the story here.
Regale me.
So what ended up happening is one day when I was a wee child, I was stapling a book I had drawn together. Okay, and somehow I stapled my thumbs together. I don't know how I did that. I can't imagine how I would have stapled my thumbs together, but I did. But that's not the problem, you see. The problem is that, like, later, I'm trying to figure out how I stapled my thumbs together. And in the process of trying to figure it out, I stapled them together again.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it how long ago was this?
Oh, this was a long time ago. I wasn't even a teenager yet.
What reminded you of this story?
So what reminded me of this story, I'm glad you asked. Last night I was making soup, and I was trying to cut up onions, okay? And now your boy had a big dumb moment where the knife wasn't cutting through the onion, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something stupid, but I'll be careful, so it'll be okay. I picked up the onion, and I cut toward my hand because I was being careful. But as soon as I stopped pressing down on the onion, the blade of my very sharp knife, thank you, mother, for the sharp kitchen knife for Christmas, cut right into my hand. So I've got this really wicked cut in between my like thumb and pointer finger that is actually like, it's not as deep as I thought it was yesterday, but it also could be that it just kind of healed up a little bit.
It's not deep enough for stitches, is what you're saying.
I mean, it probably could have used stitches, but I'm not worried about it.
This is America, man. We're not all millionaires who can just have health insurance.
Noah grew up in a homeschooler household. I would put money on the fact that he could throw together a needle and thread and stitch himself if he had to.
Wait, why do you think I can't use a needle and thread?
I mean, you might be able to.
I made an apron in high school. I mean, for class.
They
were like, you guys gotta sew aprons together.
I was speaking specifically that I'm pretty sure Noah could. You might be able to as well. I wasn't talking about you. It wasn't all about you, Jackson. God.
Yeah, but you used homeschooled, so I felt like you were attacking public school people.
That's fair. No, it wasn't so much an attack. It was more of a like. It wouldn't have surprised. Like I have had my like cuts, like small cuts, in the grand scheme of things, stitched up by like family before. So like it's not that.
That is very weird.
I don't know, man.
Noah, did you ever have a cut stitched up by a family member?
Oil a needle in some hot water?
No.
By like a doctor, though, right?
Yep.
Or a nurse, or even maybe a friend that's a nurse. Dan, were your family members? Were any of them nurses?
Oh no, it was in my kitchen.
That's not normal, even for homeschool.
Oh,
it's not home hospital too.
No, see, I'm not surprised that like home stitches were a thing because I would if I had needle and thread here.
But you need like you can't just use like a piece of thread.
Right. No, you need to make sure that piece of thread was clean.
You sterilize a piece of thread. You can definitely thread. Just means you got to tear it out later.
I just don't know how good of an idea that would be.
Oh, it wasn't a good idea. It was a bad idea. I'm not advocating it, but like Noah's already on this train of I'm doing a bunch of dumb shit. I figured, why not go a little further?
No, I poured some vodka on it and I put a Band-Aid on it.
Why do you think the drinking alcohol is the same as rubbing alcohol?
It's not. I know it's not, but I don't have any rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol is way cheaper than vodka
It's true, but I don't.
and does not taste good. Trust me.
But
it'll get you drunk.
It's also poison.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
see, I'm
a risk
not
I'm
gonna
willing to
drink.
take.
See, here's the thing. I'm not gonna drink this vodka. It's old vodka. I don't really care for vodka right now, so I poured it on my cut a little bit, and then I put a Band-Aid on it. It would not stop bleeding for a while, but it finally did. And then I put some sealing medicine on it. Everything's cool. And I accidentally split it back open today at work when I absentmindedly transferred a comb from my combing hand to the holding comb hand, because that's how cutting works, you know.
rookie mistake.
I had
Never
been very
use your
careful
holding
about
comb
it.
hand to comb.
I had been very careful about it the whole time while I was cutting the guy's hair. But then right at the end, as I'm just like moving his hair around a little bit to show him like some styles, I transfer hands real quick with that comb. The teeth of the comb went right into that cut again. And I was back on square one damage wise.
But may I ask you about a hair cutting question?
Yes.
How do you, so you have a combing hand and a comb holding hand,
Yes.
but how do you comb with the hand that you aren't allowed to hold the comb with? Because both hands sound like they're comb holding hands, but one of them sounds like it has an added purpose.
All right. So my right hand is the hand that does all the stuff, and the left hand doesn't do much except for
Just
hold
hold the
hair
comb.
to cut. So I'll comb with my right hand.
And
then
hold the comb
I'll,
while you're combing.
and I'll hold it, yeah. But then
Okay,
I'll
okay.
transfer it to the left hand so that I can use the scissors that are also in my right hand to cut the hair.
So is it also your scissor holding hand?
It is also my scissor holding hand. Sometimes
Well,
I'll
both
comb.
hands are probably your scissor holding hand if I had to wager.
They are not actually. Only my right hand is a scissor holding hand.
All right, fair enough. Is it also your scissor using hand?
It is.
'Cause
That
it'd be weird
hand
if you
is
just held them.
multi-purpose.
Wow, so
Yeah, I
talented.
bet it is.
Dan,
Yes, a hand can do several things.
At
Dan.
least 2 or 3.
my hand super useful. Don't
And
want to
since
brag,
Noah was
but
at a homeschooled household, I'm pretty sure he can hold scissors with his right hand.
it's true. I can't believe you figured that out. I'm very proud of you.
I got you.
So yeah, that's my big story. That's about all I've got. That's a beer.
You goddamn right. Yeah. So today's beer is by Bell's. Bell's is a pretty famous craft brewery.
Okay.
They make I have an IPA called the Two Hearted Ale, which is like a gold medal winning super big IPA people love. And they also have a beer called Oberyn, which is neat.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's a Game of Thrones, but I don't know if it's a Game of Thrones. It might not be a Game of Thrones. They have a whole bunch of beers, but today here I have their Pool Time Ale because this week is gonna be hot.
Pool time ale.
Pool Time Ale. It is a wheat ale with cherry juice. So much like the
Interesting.
watermelon wheat that was watermelon, this is cherry.
That's actually really cool.
Because yeah, like a Belgian wheat beer goes really well with fruit, and this is just a different variation on it, made by a pretty big brewery. But it's still like a privately owned brewery, so that's always cool. You gotta love those. Because usually any craft brewery that gets any sort of notice or rapport will get bought out by Anheuser-Busch. Like 100% of the time. Like it's absolutely, they're crazy. But yeah, Bell's Pool Time Ale is really good. It's very, very nice, very smooth. You could drink it easily if you're, hanging out on the beach or by the pool, as the name implies. It's a good warm weather, just drinking some beer. Let me do the mouthfeel because we're doing that now.
Oh, that's
Gross.
right. I forgot. Dan, it's not gross. It's actually a really common thing to discuss the mouthfeel of a beer.
It's got a very light mouthfeel with a little bit of like a heady finish. Like as you're drinking it, the head really, as you pour it in your mouth, the head really like manifests. The carbonation brings it out as you're pouring. So it's really good in that regard. And I would give this beer. Oh, should I start rating the beers? That'd be fun.
Ooh, hey, why not? It's season 2. We
Season
can do
2.
whatever.
Season 2, new.
There are literally no rules.
I mean, there are definitely rules. No, just broke them.
Yeah.
That's why.
Which
That's
one
why I don't
violated
Twitter
us?
anymore. Good job, guys. We all got to the same joke at the same time. I'm proud of us.
We did it.
Proud of you all.
That's a first,
wrap,
actually.
boys.
So season 2. Yeah, it's a.
Shut this whole
All right,
production
guys,
down.
it
We're
was
done.
nice. But, now that we're not on Twitter anymore, there's really no reason to have a podcast. So, it's done.
I feel like I should probably, if I'm going to rank the beers, have like a compendium.
So you can keep
make
track?
like a spreadsheet. Yeah, because I don't want to just start like tossing around beer rankings and not have a spreadsheet. So actually, this beer is not getting a rating today. But what I might do is go back through the episodes and try and find the beer corners. Or maybe just the last couple of them, because I don't know.
There's no way you're going back through every episode to find the beer corners.
Just because I don't know when the beer corners take place, so it's kind of, well, they're usually pretty early on.
If
Not,
one of
not
our
there's a couple.
originally, though. The original ones were like late in the episodes.
If one of our loving
right.
listeners wants to put a little list together and send it over, we would appreciate you a lot. That's all.
I do whatever.
I mean, do your life, but I'm just saying we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, then maybe rank the beers. Although it's always weird to retroactively rank something,
I mean, that just means you're gonna have to try all of them again.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna have to do that.
Season 2 is gonna be just the same exact beer corners as season 1, just with a ranking now.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna run it back. We're just gonna get the same exact beers.
In order, yeah.
I think that's a good plan.
I mean, I like it.
Honestly, I don't. What was the first Jackson's Beer Corner?
I don't know, man.
Like, what episode did that start in?
That's a good
It's probably
question,
in the
actually.
title or in the
No, it's
I
description.
don't know
wasn't.
if it is. Man, I might have to figure that
It
one
was
out.
early. I would guess it was like before
It
episode
was
10.
early. I think it was probably right around episode 10.
Yeah, I would buy that.
Maybe my guess is a little bit after.
Fair enough.
Although I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing like sticks out to me as like the episode where that started. I also don't remember why it started.
I think you just wanted to have a bit, so you created a bit. Because,
Oh, you know what? That does sound right. Where I was like, I'm doing a thing, and then I was like, I want to do a thing every episode. This is the thing.
That is exactly how it happened. Because I remember early on.
because it started out, I took October.
Oh, the month of horror. Yes, you're right. It started in November.
So that would mean it would have been about 10 episodes.
It would have been the first.
Because what, July and August we did it every other week.
I can just pull it up. I think it'll start in the first episode in November. Let me just go to the website. Off-the-air podcast.
Yeah, first episode
Actually,
of
if I
November
just
was
Google
furry,
this.
or not furry gatekeeping, was Dan is outed as a snitch. So,
I stand by that
Yeah, and
episode.
that was episode number 12. Came out November 1st.
Look at you.
And then
Yeah, 'cause
Noah
I-
and Jackson meet up. Yeah, I remember that one, like the live episode.
yeah.
Because I was going to do
good beer.
something for December and then I never got around to it.
Shout out to Dan and Danny, because we definitely forgot to give them any sort of guest ranking, even though they were only on the one.
Honestly, that didn't really count because that was like an improv. Like they were just in the room, and I was like, I don't want to be rude. Also, like they're great. They should be back on the podcast.
They were cool guys
Yeah. Dan just posted on Instagram for the first time today.
for the first time ever.
Yeah, first time ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, proud of him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So episode 12 is when that started. So that means we have done. Wow, I've really done like 38 beers.
Yeah.
As of today.
Uh,
well, no,
we got
because
a couple
I
of
missed a couple
repeats.
episodes.
I was gonna
I've
say,
probably
you
done like
did-
35.
You did miss a couple,
And
but still.
And a couple
There's a couple where I didn't do it because I was like, it was like 6 a.m. when we were recording.
yeah.
Or like ones where it was like right before work.
and a couple you repeated, I'm sure. In fact, I know for a
I
fact.
don't think so.
You've definitely repeated a couple of beers here and there.
Which ones?
Specifically the whatever that tea one is that you've been raving about for the last like 2 months, and that you got Noah to drink.
No.
I'm
No,
like
he-
99% sure you did
but I
it
just
twice.
talked about it.
Yeah, because he did bring it up again, but he then
I think I did the
transitioned to a
peach and the
different
blueberry.
beer.
Or did I do the blueberry and the black cherry bourbon?
That might have been it. I don't remember.
may have done two
I'm
different
like
types.
100% sure you had to repeat something somewhere in there.
I've repeated breweries, but I don't think I've repeated individual beers.
Audience, let us know because you guys
Yeah,
care
because
more
like
than we do.
there's probably a couple times where I've been like, just drink this one again when I didn't have one.
That'll give you. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's
That,
probably what I'm
that
thinking
is
of.
where the Earl Grey beer came from. That did happen twice that way.
Yeah, because I didn't have like another beer, so I was like, yeah, just drink this one.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. Not a full corner, but a beer recommendation.
Yeah, because there's been times when I haven't been able to get beers because of my work schedule and Pennsylvania liquor laws, which are a nightmare.
God, are they?
And even on top of Pennsylvania liquor laws being a nightmare, Wegmans is where I get most of my beer. This one I actually got from my job. I like got it to go because it's a can, so it's sealed. But like Wegmans is where I get most of my beers, and Wegmans stops serving beer at 9, and they start at like 1. So you have like an incredibly brief window to actually get beer from there.
You have 8 hours, so if you work during those 8 hours,
they probably
you
start
get
like
fucked.
noon. But yeah, no, like if I work at like 3, I can't because my work is the opposite way, so I'd have to drive like half an hour to get there, half an hour back, get ready for work, and then drive half an hour to work.
Yeah.
So like, I'd have to actually like make a trip of it and leave my house like 4 hours before I had to work. So Yeah, sometimes I can't get the beers if my schedule's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think I've repeated a review for any though.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and any episode I'm not in, we don't have one. Which there's definitely been a few.
That is accurate. So in the process, by the way, not to pull away from this too hard,
No, you're good.
but in the
been like 5
process,
minutes.
I was gonna say we
of-
definitely run that conversation into the ground.
only a little bit of trying
Yeah,
to
it's
figure
fine.
out what's up with the Twitter account. I'm talking to Hi right now, and he mentioned maybe it's our banner, which
That
in
actually
case
is fair.
no one knows, our banner is the only podcast banned by the TSA. It's literally too explosive to fly. Which,
That would, of all the things, that would actually make
Obviously-
the most sense.
firstly, yeah, it does make sense. Secondly, if we get narked because of Nina's meme banner she made us, that's really funny.
That's hysterical. Also, speaking
really
of
funny.
hysterical, shout out to Parker, because I just saw his tweets in
Oh,
response to
free
yours.
off the air,
hashtag
justice for
free off
Noah.
the air, justice for Noah, and that's very good.
I like that a
Yeah,
lot. Thank you, Parker.
Can we please get a Twitter account back?
Yeah, please, we would do nice.
we
Don't-
literally just want to
don't
spread
they-
memes and positivity. It's literally all that
Don't
we
they
do.
need to?
Well,
Don't they need
okay.
to tell you why you're getting restricted?
Nope, just
They said that they're supposed to send you an email about it, but they never sent me an email.
Did you check the off the air email account?
yeah,
That is-
we did all
that is
the
email.
all the
Yeah, I
things.
checked the deleted, I checked the spam, I checked everything. I checked my deleted and spam, even though it shouldn't have gone there. I checked my backup emails deleted and spam,
Damn.
even though
check
it
the
definitely
backup
also
email.
shouldn't be there. So
I
like,
checked my email and spam too.
I did not check my email and spam.
All right, hold
but
on.
if
While,
it's attached to
we're,
my email,
while
I
we're
will be.
on the air, let's just check our emails real quick. You don't know, man. Maybe that's where it went.
If Noah has my email and then he sent that off the air, we're staying banned. Because how did he?
How?
I don't know
Why?
get into my email.
Let's see. We got
my big issue is it says it should be sending me a it claims it should be sending me a code so that I can sign in, but it isn't sending me a code.
Is it sending it to the right phone number?
Well, it censored most of my number,
But the last 4, right?
but the last 4 are correct.
Our primary inbox is. No one's ever sent us an email.
Oh no, I keep it clean. That's all.
Noah hates. Wait.
I got a little notification in the corner saying currently being used in one other location, so I guess that's you.
Did you see this?
new sign in.
Let's see. Yeah, but
It's from Philly,
so
that's
it's
me.
Dan. But this was you. Oh, that's it. Dan, did you log into the email from Philly and destroy it?
I did. I actually nuked the entire. I told you guys that whenever my time to leave, I'm burning this whole podcast to the ground. This is phase 1. The tweets are coming from inside the podcast.
Oh my
The
gosh.
tweets are coming. So Dan, is this your resigning? Are you resigning? Is this your resignation?
I don't know if he's
No.
resigning, but he's definitely fired.
No resignation from me. Not yet. Maybe a hiatus for a few weeks coming up, but we'll talk about that when it gets a little closer.
Dan is going to be racist on Twitter and then leave.
Yeah,
for
I
a
need
couple
to be
weeks.
racist on Twitter before I leave. That way it's associated with you guys.
Why
thanks.
is this account temporarily restricted?
This is going to take up the entire rest of the episode for Jackson.
It's just.
I'm gonna be honest.
What have we done?
I'm trying not to be angry about it, and I'm trying not to be like shook up about it. But I'm very angry.
You know what makes me angry?
What?
So first of all, before I directly call you out, did either of you guys buy anything for Prime Day?
I did not. I intentionally did not.
Hell yeah.
I did not know
Noah?
that there was a I did not realize
Noah?
there was a strike going on. I did buy a webcam.
Noah's in the pocket of the bourgeoisie.
Noah is a class trader.
Yep. Yeah, I had a couple. I even talked to a couple of my friends out of buying things because, like, I don't know if I talked about it.
$20 is not worth.
Very briefly, I worked for Amazon, and yeah, fuck that place. Fuck. Hot
Yeah,
spicy
honestly-
take. Even though although that said, Amazon does own our sponsor for this week, audibletrial.com
Sponsor for
/off the
everywhere.
air.
You think we've got more sponsors than Audible? Trial.com /off the air.
You know what? I suspect that probably us saying fuck Amazon in general and us saying go to audibletrial.com /off the air and get a free Audible token, a free month of Audible rather, is those are probably canceling each other out, right? I feel like those are
No.
roughly equal.
I just it's just important to support striking workers. especially like to support unionizing workers, because that needs to happen, especially for companies like Walmart, who has been under the gun for not. If you say the word union in Walmart and you don't even work there, they'll kick you out. Like, it's so bad. It is. Yeah, it's really bad. If they hear you talking about unionizing, you get fired. It's in their company policy. So when you sign on, you're basically signing into saying you're not allowed to talk about unionizing. They can't make you sign on to not unionizing because that's against
illegal.
Workers' rights. But they can sign in to say you get fired if you talk about it.
Interesting.
Because it's it's whatever.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's their company policy.
The way Amazon runs their company, like at the bottom, like the people who are like in the warehouses and shit, that it's fucking insane. Like, it's actually insane.
But Dan, they have a game that you can play while you're working.
You know what? I have games that I can play while I'm working. It's called being on my phone.
Well, you probably shouldn't be on your phone at work usually.
It depends on how slow and busy it is. Like, if there's no one in the store, I'm gonna be, and there's nothing to clean up because it's the slow time of year. I'm gonna sit on my phone near the register. I'm not gonna sit. I'm gonna stand on my phone near the register. Like, that's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean that's respectable, I guess. But like, if I wouldn't stop supporting Amazon if they were just like, yeah, our employees can't use phones on the clock.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's
that
fair.
Makes sense. But yeah,
it's all the other shit.
I did hear the other day someone was like, honestly, if you want to unionize and you work at Walmart, you should just get a better job.
Is that how that works?
They're literally over. Like, I don't know if it's over or almost, but there's near 2 million people working for Walmart.
Yeah, you can't just leave that.
People need to work for Walmart, or you won't have somewhere to go. And even if you don't go to Walmart, like I personally don't go to Walmart.
I try to avoid it.
I still need somewhere to go. Like I said, I go to Wegmans all the time. Wegmans apparently is a great company to work for. I've heard a lot of really good things.
I have to,
From
actually.
people who work there
Also.
and people who have worked there. My mom worked there in like the 80s and was like, this place was dope. So yeah, Wegmans, I've heard great things. So I like to shop there. And so like I still occasionally will go to Walmart for something. Because, like, Wegmans is not a general store. Like, Walmart has, like, you can get a fan there. You can't get that at a lot of other places. But people need to work in low tier jobs or low education needed jobs. Because not only are there people out there who are, who have low education, but there's also, like, a demand for it. It's
it's the easiest type of job to get. Like, I've been trying to move on from, like, service industry, essentially. Well, let me phrase that. From behind the counter service industry. And like 90% of the jobs that are posted anywhere are just like for service industry stuff, because that's the industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it used to be the factories and now it's service.
Exactly. And yeah, you can't just say, 2 million people need to get a different job, idiots. Why don't we just be smarter and get a good job? Because
This is why we need
couldn't
to
go to Walmart and you'd be mad.
This is why we need to construct a post-scarcity economy so that people can work there, and that's enough for them to live on. Like, if I could survive, well, let me say that, if I could do well or even do pretty okay on what I make at my current job, I'd probably just stick around. Like, I would have no reason to leave right away until I had something that I like really wanted to do. But the fact of the matter is that I have to like quit because I literally can't pay the bills anymore on what they're paying me.
Yep. And that's the reality of a lot of places where you're not allowed to unionize and they still only offer minimum wage. Or I think Walmart does offer $10 an hour to their credit.
Well, and Amazon does pay. Amazon is like a lot more. Amazon's like almost 20, I think, something like that.
But it's still the conditions, and people aren't unionizing solely for money. They're unionizing for rights.
Yes.
And you can pay me a lot of money, but if you take away my ability to feel like a person, I don't care how much you're giving me. But on the other hand, my communist ass thinks that over-unionization is an issue in some areas.
Oh, yeah, and I feel like it used to be like a much bigger issue, too. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, and like where unions thrive are in certain types of service industry jobs, right? Like, some industry jobs I get that, like, they wouldn't really want a full union. Like, you shouldn't necessarily need a union for a lot of small jobs if the company just gives you basic decency. But the problem is a lot of companies don't.
That's why there's not like a bartenders union.
Exactly. Because
if my employer treats me bad, I'm just gonna be like, I can just go bartend this restaurant down the street if they're better.
Exactly.
And then my employer would be like, wait, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But in a lot of places, like if you're a steel worker, you can't anymore. You can't just go to another steel worker plant. Like,
you can't
not really.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a lot of options. So if you have a skill, you need to be protected as an employee.
Well, and it's why they're even in like on the other end of it, like on the creative end, like the reason that like all the Screenwriter Guild and SAG and like the Directors Guild and the cinematography, whatever the hell it's called. Like the reason those all exist is because they are unions with different names. Like they're the same exact idea of just, well, yeah, people weren't paying like in Hollywood, they weren't paying the people who made the movies enough for them to actually survive on. And so they had to unionize.
Yeah. And it's just companies that run like Walmart and Amazon that do exploit people who have a low education level oftentimes can get away with it. Because, no offense to Walmart employees, but I imagine your average Hollywood film crew who has a 4-year degree is probably much more aware of what they're capable of and what they're worth than someone who's like working at Walmart, which is seen societally as like the lowest of the low.
That's fair.
So like your self-esteem as like
a lot of people in the industry do not have degrees. It's really superfluous in the industry. But that's not the point. Sorry.
No, I mean you're good. I just figured that wasn't the case.
Yeah. But yeah, no. And that comes, I think, from the difference between being industry work being kind of a almost freelance, but not quite, but mostly, and Walmart being a like salaried or hourly position. Because like when you have to essentially sell yourself just to get work, like I feel like you have a much clearer idea of what your value is and what you're willing to do for the amount that you're willing to do it for. And similarly, they're willing to be like, well, if we want the actual quality, we'll put the work in. Whereas Walmart doesn't give a shit because if you quit in 2 weeks, oh no, they'll find another person off the streets and grab them and put them in a uniform and have them stand by the front door. It's a really fucked up situation.
Yeah, and let me see real quick.
I haven't heard anything.
This is a weird thing for me to be seeing, but the question is I think I think they're okay. But my dad actually works for a company that has steel workers. It's part of the Steelworkers Union, and it is it's a plant. Honestly, I might as well. It's called Erie Coke. I was gonna like not say it, but the information is so revealing, knowing where I live and what's going on. But just this last week, they've been going through like trial after trial to see if they're gonna keep operating or not, because the people who own the plant have been malhandling it for like years, and they've just been like pumping, not necessarily toxins in the environment. They've just been unsightly, smelly, and they're just not like taking care of everything as they should be. So there are pollutants that shouldn't be getting out. And they've been on like trial all week. I'm pretty sure they're good. I haven't heard anything definitively. There's supposed to be an answer today on whether or not they'd be staying open. I think there probably are. If not, then who knows? But they, one of like the big things that kept them in the actual like court debates were not only that they had like plans to fix things, but of course everybody who's under fire has a plan. But they also, every employee there is a union worker. So they have 137 union employees.
Oh man.
My dad actually, the reason that my family moved back up here is just because he got a job at this plant where he worked when I was a little kid, and he left, and then they went like super far downhill, and so it kind of he is part of their plan for fixing things. And since he came up here in like beginning of April, that helped them out in court a lot. Also because they could say, look, we brought like an environmental engineer in April to help fix things. So I think they're all right. I don't know. They might be shut down. Who knows? Wouldn't that be fun?
It'd be really funny.
Move up here for a job for 3 months. Well, what do you do? Yeah.
Sorry, job stuff has been all up in my head lately.
I mean it's nice though, because like my parents are really like not freaking out about it. Like my parents are chill people, and they're very like understanding with how things work, and they're like, who knows? Yeah.
At the end of the day, things either will work out or they won't work out, and those are literally the only two options. Exactly.
And my parents are in their 60s, and they just sold their house up here, so they're like, probably retire or something. I don't know.
A valid plan.
What if the plan's just, I don't know, probably retire. So yeah, I don't know, like the protecting workers is really important, and it also really holds up when people are putting you under scrutiny, because then you can say like, no, we're actually allowing our workers to unionize and we care for our employees.
Yeah. And I mean, studies across the board have always shown that the better you treat your employees, up to a point, obviously, but the better you treat your employees, the more productivity and retention and all that you get out of them. So it kind of blows my mind that companies still are like, well, what if we just treat them like robots that also need food?
Yeah, well, Amazon can do that because they also don't have to pay taxes. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's a little weird, and I don't like that.
I mean, it's common. Doesn't make it okay, but it's very common.
See, I hate rich people, but I like rich people that care for their employees and let them unionize.
I would argue that I don't even mind rich people. I don't not a huge fan of mega corporations.
Hmm.
Y'all,
neither.
we're on our way towards a Shadowrun universe, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Can we be on our way towards Blade Runner universe?
But they're the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, not really, but they're
want-
for all intents and purposes
wait.
they're the same thing.
Do you think that Ryan Gosling is going to live forever
I mean, I
Isn't he?
I
'Cause he
see
looks
no
pretty
evidence to the
young.
contrary.
in the Blade Runner? He looked pretty young in 2049. So.
Actually, just got a copy of 2049 not that long ago. I'm planning on sitting down to watch
pretty
it
good.
at some point. I'm pretty excited.
Oh, you know what movie I watched?
What'd you see?
Us.
Ooh,
Us is very good.
I think it was pretty good. I'd say it's like a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. I wasn't super into it, but I also wasn't like, this is dumb. I was just kind of like,
that's fair.
I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was stupid.
I thought of it as a very solid 8 for me, but I respect your number as well. I think personally, I feel like it fell apart a tiny bit at the end.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and I didn't like get a lot of things. Like something would happen and I'd be like, why? I don't know. I
Yeah,
wasn't paying super close attention.
that's fair as well.
I was playing Team Fight Tactics on the side because it's just good to do when you're watching something because it's not super like intense. But I think I talked about that last week. You can just like watch something and be like look over the other screen every couple seconds. So I pulled one of those moves, and I don't know. I thought this was pretty good, but I just there's some things I was like, why are you doing any of that?
Speaking of movies, I got around to seeing Deadpool 2 finally this week, which was fun.
About time.
I know, right?
I was worried that you were never going to see it.
I was too.
That's a fair worry. I have a lot of
like,
movies
real
that
Dan
I'm
gets to
realistically
see
never
this.
going to see. Statistically, I don't think it's possible to see every movie.
It is. I've done it.
Is it? Good for you, man.
Yeah, I actually saw them all.
What was your favorite?
Avatar 3.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice. But yeah, saw it. It was pretty good. I mean, there's only so much I can say about it. It's Deadpool 2. I thought some of the stuff they did was like, well, you could have done that earlier. And like, I get that like it's a movie with like a dumb baseline storyline. Like it's not intended to be taken super seriously. There are a couple things that even then I was like, yeah, all right, let's get this over with. Like specifically some of the stuff near the very end. I don't want to spoil it, I guess, if anyone hasn't seen it. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to spoil us out. That's why I kind of like danced around it because I was like, that movie still is only like 6 months old. It's not like
yeah, and I know kind of the way Us goes down, and I wish I had time to talk about it. We'll do we should do bonus content of like just a spoiler full episode or something. Nobody would ever listen to that. Never mind. So I did, in addition to seeing Deadpool, we're recording this on the 17th, 16th, whatever.
It is indeed the 17th.
it's a 17.
Dude, I have no concept of days anymore. It's such a problem. So last weekend, whatever, it doesn't matter what weekend, I got to go out to do Invasion of Normandy with Dave and Lamb, who's also in the chat. And it was a great time. It is this. I think I've definitely mentioned it. I've been building up to it a little bit the last couple of weeks. It's this massive like paintball event with like, I heard numbers like 2,000 to 3,000 people in attendance.
Did you win?
We did. The Allies did win, as it should be. I did
Bro,
not
imagine
personally
going
win.
to an event called the Invasion of Normandy and being like, yeah, I want to be a Nazi.
Well, I do want to come back to that. I want to circle back to that. I have some things with that. So
200%. I'm being like, I want to be. I'll be Canada.
Okay, I do want to come back to that because I want to lead that into something else in a minute. But yeah,
Okay.
so we went. I was there for 2 nights and 3 days. 2 nights and 2.5 days. Ours was like so it's this big camp. So people like camp, right? It's like a giant campground that people like put out like camps and like campsites and whatnot. And some people go by themselves. Some people go in like big groups. Ours is one of the bigger groups was one of the bigger groups on the Ally side. It's called Philadelphia Experience. I think Experiment. TPEX. It's TPEX. And we were like right near the fucking front of the like. So the way it's set up is that the
Vanguard.
we were a little bit. We were like right up in the
Nice.
front. We were one of the first camps before you hit Vendors Row, which is right between the campsites and the field. So yeah, it does the Invasion of Normandy. So you start like at the beginning of the day, everyone gets in essentially these 4 walls and a floor boxes that they pack us in like pack in like sardines. raise the back side of it up to close you in, and then drop the front of it, and boom, you're out on the field because it's supposed to be like boats. And it was awesome. I had such a great time. Storming the beach itself was kind of bullshit because like you're just gonna like. The fact of the matter is, you go on that beach, you're gonna die. Well, air quotes die. You're gonna get hit and have to go back to the start. But like all the rest of it was great because after a couple hours, they open up like 2 more entrances essentially, and they're called insertions. One for each side, and you can go in on either of those and go into like the rest of the map, which has like you know, a little urban looking area and like a lot of forests and like streams and stuff like that. It's very cool. It's a huge fucking thing. Absolute blast.
But that sounds like a good time. I don't really ever do paintball. I actually have never done paintball. But I'd be super down to do paintball. All my friends are boring.
Honest to God, if
I'm not kind of knowing that because an hour away from me. But
I feel you.
Like all my close immediate like friends, they're just like, let's just play a video game. I'm like, can we play like volleyball or like leave the house? Like I don't know. Everyone's like, let's watch. Oh, you know what other movie I saw?
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Got Fingered.
What?
Have you guys never heard of it?
The name is familiar, but I've definitely never seen it.
You guys, I'm not gonna say need to watch it. It is so critically panned. It was for a long time like the worst reviewed movie of all time.
Wow.
I was slammed off some natter days.
As you do.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I was like 6 tall boys in. I was pretty gone. And my friend was like, "Hey, want to watch Freddy Got Fingered?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, actually, no, I was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds bad. Can we watch, like, Monster Musume? And he was like, nah. He's like, I want to watch Freddy Got Fingered. And it's like, bro, it's not even, like, on any streaming services. He's like, I got the Blu-ray. So my man whips out the Blu-ray. And he pops it in, and we watch it. And I expected it to be, like, really dumb and bad. Because he was like, yeah, this is, like, one of the critically worst reviewed movies. Actually pretty funny. But in that, it's, like... it's not good. It is bad, but it's like weirdly funny because it's just bad enough to be funny.
I get that.
Rip Torn plays the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. He actually died very recently.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, he was on like a couple weeks ago. But no, Rip Torn played the dad, and he is super funny. And the main character is played by Tom Green, who also was the director, I believe. And he's just like a 28-year-old man-child who wants to be an animator.
So most people who want to be animators.
Yeah, basically. What
a weird stance to take for me. But
yeah, I was like, I feel like animators are usually pretty cool. Most of my friends, anyway. But no, he's like a 28-year-old man-child, and it's just a funny movie. There's a couple of scenes in it that were incredibly jarring for even drunk me. For example, in one scene, he is driving, and he sees a horse, a male horse, and he sees its penis, and he does like a donut and like slams on the brakes, gets out of the car, runs over, and is like, "What's that? I want to be a farmer." And then he starts to jerk the horse off and say, "Look at me, Daddy, I'm a farmer." And it's like a 6-second scene, and then he runs back to his car and then drives to LA to work at the cheese sandwich factory. So if that sounds like a good film...
It doesn't. Sounds real bad.
Well, like I said, that is one of the most jarring moments of the movie. Second to the elephant penis.
You're not making it sound good to me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty good.
Not making it sound good.
It's hard to defend it.
No, don't try.
No, I gotta.
No, you don't.
He does play a song on the piano. Well, he's drawing. He's playing the piano, and he's eating sausages that he has dangled on strings, so he can play the piano and eat the sausages at the same time. And he sings a song that goes, "Daddy, would you like some sausage?"
I don't like this. I did not go into the trenches for this. Okay.
Dan, you can't say that.
Too late.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
Dan,
there it is. Thank you, Jackson.
You can now be entitled.
That's
sweet.
Okay. He did thank you for your service. I guess I'm not allowed to be angry.
There also weren't trenches
There weren't trenches there either, so it's okay.
Well, I mean, there probably were trenches in Normandy once they like hit the beach. They were probably like, "Start digging, boys." I would have like, you kidding me?
Dude, okay. Honest to God, the amount of respect I now have for like the people who did that, oh boy, because like there was so they had like cover that was thrown up on the beach, right? They put like they used barrels, they used like different structures, different like crates and stuff as cover, right?
Fun fact: when the Allies stormed the beach, they didn't have that.
They didn't. They did not.
They only had the things that the Germans had set out to kill them.
The gigantic. What are those gigantic crossbeams called?
I don't know what they're called. Like the X's.
Yeah,
they were to stop tanks.
Yeah, they look like
what they're
jacks.
called? I don't know the name.
But those are about
they look like giant caltrops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to say, because you mentioned Nazis. So two things, two highlights that I would like to bring up from this. One, happened while I was there in the middle of the night on what would have been Saturday night. So after everyone is done, being tired. Apparently a tradition in the camp is for a bunch of people who are definitely sober, the most sober. To
watch Freddy Got Fingered.
To go out, they take their air cannon, which is how they deal with tanks, because there are tanks in this paintball game, which is awesome. Because they're like these like custom made Jeeps and stuff that have like a ref that follows them around to determine when they go down. There's like a whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, so we take the air cannon, I want to say probably like $60 or $70 worth of glow sticks, go around to different camps and sneak up on them. And then out of nowhere, from all over the place, think Gideon and the soldiers of Israel just shout the like entire allied. I think it's the entire thing. The entire Mott thing is like people will just randomly shout "Hey fuckface," and then like you'll get a chorus back of "Hey fuckface." Like it's just a thing. But to everyone just suddenly shouts that and fires off a shitload of glow sticks into other camps. Which was the funniest thing. Do
they cut them open and shoot the goo?
No. It is,
because that'd be fun.
No, it is not, because that stuff is toxic. It is just a boatload of glow sticks that just get like air, like just mortared into allied camps.
What if they did it with like slime?
The thing is, I feel like the slime is going to be a lot harder to pick up than glow sticks.
That's why it would be terrible.
No. The point is not to be terrible. The point is to spread joy and entertainment.
Okay, never mind.
Nobody got pelted with glow sticks and then was like pissed about it, except for one group. But they just, instead of actually being pissed, they just kept throwing them back to us, or back at us, I guess rather.
Wait, were you the ones firing the glow sticks?
Yeah, we were the ones firing the glow sticks. And it was like a whole thing. Like you'd sneak up on it, like everyone's real quiet, load it up. You actually have to like put like wadding in, like as if it was like an old musket, so like a wet paper towel. And then shout and then fire, and then fucking disappear off into the night like a, I don't know, charming rogue.
It does sound like a good time.
It was such a good time. The part two, before I forget, the Nazis. So the thing that I didn't love, and it goes to what you're saying. So when you're on the Allied side, right, you get to like our camp specifically is like has enough shit that like we have generators and a projector that we have like this gigantic montage of a bunch of war movies playing essentially. So like it's all America. It's essentially it's
to like hype you up.
It's World War II propaganda essentially, even if it's not like that.
Like before you go on the battlefield, like to get you all like feeling
exactly.
Dave
before
got to
and
set
after,
that up
and
this
like
year, didn't he?
Dave did set that up this year, and I think he did a great job.
Nice.
Though they gave him shit for putting in the fucking Pillarman scene from JoJo because it had Nazis in it. So like that was his argument. Yeah, which was weak, but I'll give it to him. Anyway, I appreciated it. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so lots of American like propaganda. Just frankly, it's just American propaganda and like flags everywhere, and like we had like this little cutout of like of Hitler with like a little message thing that people kept writing, like not like racist things, but like ridiculous things on it.
Terrible things to Hitler.
Exactly.
Wait, did they play the scene from Inglourious Bastards?
We did. We played that one.
I knew
it. Fucking you magnificent bastard! You magnificent bastard! I read your book. Can't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head. There was just a shitload. It was like a 2.5 hour montage. It was long. But yeah, so that's what the Allied size looks like. Here's the thing: if a bunch of fucking nerds in like camo gear walk down the street and they're carrying an American flag, that's fun. Good on them.
That's pretty
they got
fun.
their little tuba or whatever. But when
Yeah,
somebody
they do
does
have
that
their
with a bunch of
tuba.
Axis flags,
It's pretty hard to defend.
yeah, and like here's the thing: some people are definitely just doing it because like there has to be somebody on the Axis side, right? Otherwise, there's no game.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's honestly a majority of them.
I'm absolutely sure.
But it's the shitheads who aren't like that.
There are definitely shitheads who aren't like that. And like as I talked to Dave about later on, that like there are enough things that look like or are inspired by Nazi paraphernalia that aren't actual Nazi paraphernalia. And like I would argue that's even okay. It's when you're waving around the actual like swastikas that like it's like, guys, go home, please.
Yeah,
and like some of those people are definitely actual Nazis. Like that's the thing.
Oh yeah.
And like
And then but that's bad.
That's so
But
bad.
The D-Day reenactment where I live, like it attracts people from all over the world, and like dudes be out there in straight up like they show up and they have prepared like the freshest SS officer uniform, and you're like, I know you got that shit dry cleaned. Tell me you didn't go to the dry cleaner and be like, can you wash this? And then like it just got like a whole bunch of like Nazi armbands and SS, and you're just like looking at them like, can you wash that maybe?
Honestly, I feel like I would be more comfortable if it was a reenactment thing, because at least in a reenactment, like that's their whole point.
Yeah, and
It's a paintball event. You don't need that much. You can tone it down.
you don't even need a flag. Like just
Yeah, exactly.
just give them a different symbol, because like if I was on the Axis side, I would just have like an Italian flag or something.
We
'Cause,
actually-
or like a Japanese flag, because I don't want to have a Nazi.
So
even if like it's just all for play, like I just don't really want to have a Nazi flag.
Exactly.
And like or like one on my uniform, because then you have to walk around and like let's say you want to go to McDonald's or something for lunch, you're like I either have to change.
Yeah.
Or look like a Nazi in McDonald's.
Well, I mean, you are like
And not just like not
like
just
20
a
minutes away
Nazi,
from the nearest,
like a Nazi
Yeah.
Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like,
in
it's
the
just-
military
yeah.
Nazi. What was it? Shit, I had a thought there because you brought it up. Oh, there are actually 3 teams. There's the so there is actually a vague like broad strokes command structure, right? Because this has been going on for like TPEX has been at for 10 years, so I think it's been going on for like 12 or 15. So there is actually like Allied High Command and Axis High Command. But there's actually a third team, which is the French. And the French are seem like they'd be the most fun, because where Axis and Allied essentially have like specific objectives and like you have different points that show up that you have to capture and stuff like that. There are actual win conditions. The French have totally different agendas and will make deals with different sides and like different high commands and switch sides throughout the day. And so occasionally over the walkies, you'll just get all of a sudden a bunch of people yelling about how the French are with the Axis again.
Wait, but why would it be the French?
I don't remember.
Well, it needs to like
The Italians
historically. It needs to be the Italians. Also, don't be mean to the French.
I mean, don't be mean to the French. Absolutely. One of the things apparently TPEX was talking about was essentially playing the Italians next year, where we would be who is it? Yeah, it would have been Axis the first day and then Allied the second day, essentially. Like switch teams halfway through the event, which I think would also be really fun.
What about the Japanese? They just don't do anything the first day and they show up in the second day.
That's the Americans would do too.
Yikes.
Yeah, they need to have like a Japanese and American faction where they just show up on the
the B
second
team.
day, and it's only the two of them, and they're fighting in like a different area.
It's a whole different part of the fucking grounds.
Well, 'cause, like, no, here's the thing. So you got the Japanese, and then you got the Americans, and the Americans fight both days, but only half of the Americans fight the first day, and all the Americans fight the second day, but only half of them fight the Axis. The other half just fight the Japanese. And the Japanese just fight the Americans.
I will say, for the size of the like grounds that this event is done on, I actually could see that being a thing.
Yeah, it'd just be too convoluted.
Oh,
because
it absolutely
would.
would.
Japanese, you only get one day.
Yeah. Well, and I will like the second day is a half day anyway. Like because the actual like paintball game
you only get
only
a
goes
half
off.
day, but it's a bad half day.
Well, no, the paintball like the paintballing itself only happens for 2 days. It happens Saturday and then Sunday, and then half a Sunday rather. And then at like 1:00, I think it was on Sunday, they end the game, and like then it's like an hour later they do like a award ceremony and like winners and stuff. So yeah, it'd be hard to do something like that. My one regret is that
it's Normandy. It'd be weird to just include the entirety of World War II.
That's true. Yeah, it is specifically Invasion of Normandy. Although apparently later, I think in October this year, which I might end up going to, depending on where I'm at financially and like physically, where apparently since the Allies won, it's Battle for Berlin, but there's a different event at the same time if the Axis win Invasion of Normandy, which I think is really cool.
That's cool. When is it?
It is in
I wanna go.
October. If I am,
you wanna
that is
go?
only a 1-day event, so people just show. There's no camping. People just show up and do stuff.
I probably
However-
can't do October though, because I have 2 weddings in October
Oh my gosh.
on 2 different weekends. So I got like a 50-50 shot of being able to go.
So I will say, regardless, next year, if anyone is financially capable, hit me up. You guys should all come out because it is an absolute blast. It is an
it sounds like fun.
absolute blast. I slept a lot. That's my biggest regret, is that I went out early in the day and like couldn't breathe on the beach because asthma. And then
You got that asthma?
I got exercise asthma, which sounds like I'm out of shape, but it's not.
You got that eczema?
No, my girlfriend has the eczema. I just had the asthma.
You got that eczema?
Fuck.
I don't know, that's so funny.
No, so I
it's
went back and,
greatest
like-
vibe. Oh, you got that eczema?
I went back and took a nap for like an hour and a half back at base camp, and by the time I went back out, like half the people who were playing in the morning were already done for the day, and so I didn't love that. And I didn't go out the second day because I was sore and tired, but it was such a blast. You guys should definitely try and come out next year if you can.
That sounds like a good time.
Well, it's tempting.
You guys want to wrap up the episode?
I was just gonna ask, is I have one more thing I can talk about relating to Nazis, but if no one wants to wrap up,
if it's
No, we got some time.
Put a quick
We got
Nazi
time.
blurb.
so it's okay. I feel bad. I feel like I led this in with it's about Nazis. It's not. It's back to being political again. So if you guys want to cut it off, like you can talk about something else. It's fine.
I mean,
But stuff
I don't
happened
have
today,
much
and I
to
thought it was
talk about,
interesting.
So
So you guys saw the fucking shitty Trump tweets v 9012, like add to the fucking list. The go back to their own country one.
Wait, who pulled out shitty drunk tweets? Was it you?
Trump tweet.
Oh, I think it's shitty drunk tweets, because like the other day I tweeted out something when I was drunk.
is that what got our Twitter
it's a
account
Jackson.
shut down?
You know it's a Jackson drunk tweet when I started with bro. If I ever start a tweet with bro, I've been drinking.
Oh
to
no.
know. I'm just gonna like pull up your Twitter real quick so I could like find some.
You'll see it's like the first one.
Yep.
You want to read it out, Noah?
Oh yeah, sure. Why would you say that to me when I wasn't even paying attention? Bro, I'm just out here trying to get a Dom GF to help me move into this house by scary movie season, accepting applications.
I saw that. That was pretty good. I appreciated that.
I think I probably tweeted that while I was watching Freddy Got Fingered.
Amazing.
A scary movie, to be sure. What is this tweet about
Yes.
the Maine being the best band of all time?
That's just facts.
I've only ever heard one of their songs, and it's a cover of Rihanna's song "Bitch Better Have My Money," which
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
is a great song, and I love it dearly. But
The Maine's real good.
Huh.
Yeah, they got a lot of fire albums. You know, Pioneer, Lovely Little Lonely is really good. Their new album, I think it's called You're Okay, or Be Okay, or something. I think it's called You're Okay. Yeah, You Are Okay. Real good. They're just they've been pumping out great albums since 2010 or 11. They put out an acoustic album called Less Noise. There's just a lot of bangers.
worth looking into. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. We definitely hijacked your Nazi tweet talk, though.
No, I mean it really was not that deep. It was just the
Is it Trump tweeted something dumb? Because yeah, probably.
I mean, not even something dumb. Something that like he told AOC and like a couple of other minority congresswomen to go back to their own country, which is pretty bad.
That's a bad in character.
Pretty bad. It's expected. What's not expected is I thought was really interesting was that the House actually like publicly condemned it, which hasn't happened in like the better part of like 100 years or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's abhorrent behavior.
Oh, it absolutely is. But like I am intrigued that now is the time that they decide to say something. Like
Yeah, I think it's the explicit naming of someone and then saying something.
He didn't say their name
objectively
specifically.
racist.
He just said there are female Democratic senators or something like that. But like, come on.
Wait, but where does he think they're from?
All but one of them were born in America, and the last one was I want to say Syrian refugee that became a citizen when she was a teenager. Like, they are all American AF. I don't know what he thinks. I mean, we all know what he thinks. He's just a racist.
Yeah,
He's
it's
racist
a
as fuck.
skin color thing.
But yeah, it's boy. It was rough.
That does sound really bad.
No,
yeah.
it was real, dude. As far as like horrible things that Trump says, like it is. Whew, I'm not going to read them out online on the air because I don't want to. Honestly, I don't like that they exist.
Yeah, it's just shitty.
It's just shitty. It's adding on to the shitty things.
Shitty orange man bad.
Shitty orange man bad. And like on one hand, like I feel bad because I feel like anytime we bring up any political thing, it's orange man bad. But like, hear me out, you guys.
Like, orange man might be bad.
Orange man might be racist.
More news at 11.
But Dan, he's actually friends with a couple black people.
Yeah, you know who else was friends with a couple black people? Slave owners.
Were they friends?
Friends is not really the right word there.
I'm sure some were.
I would strongly argue that.
Yes, but I feel like the statement is a bit wrong.
Like,
listen, that's the point. The point is that it's incorrect. That's the whole, like, don't read into the metaphor of why that metaphor doesn't work, because it's not supposed to work, because him being from the black people doesn't mean anything.
Are you sure? Because that's not what my conservative friend said.
Your conservative friend can eat my
thinking about the
ass.
same conservative friend. No, don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, have your
Is
political
he
beliefs,
racist now?
but like at a certain
Shook
point,
a black
come on.
man's hand in the 80s. Did you know there's races you can be racist against outside of black people?
I did.
There are other races,
Ooh,
and
boy.
if you hate someone for being part of it, you're racist.
Oh boy, are there. I mean, here's the thing. It's not just hate. Like, because hate, I feel like, is such a strong word, and I feel like people get caught up on that a lot. Racism
it's
is
the
not
dark
just
side.
hate.
It's the dark side.
It is. It's the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. That's our current political climate.
What leads to white Yoda?
Suffering definitely leads to White Yoda.
Suffering to no. I feel like fear
I
leads
think
to
white
white.
Yoda leads to suffering.
I feel like anger leads to hate. Hate leads to white Yoda. White Yoda leads to suffering.
I think White Yoda is the embodiment of anger, fear, and hate,
and suffering.
and suffering.
I don't think white Yoda is the embodiment of fear. I don't think he has any fear.
Are you
I think White Yoda's
not
my
afraid
friend.
of White Yoda?
Yeah. Oh, I am, but he doesn't have anything to fear. What is he afraid of?
Being too cool.
Could somebody do a shitty? No, can you do a shitty Photoshop of White Yoda in sunglasses, please?
No.
And put it up on the thing real quick.
I can't do
Thanks.
that.
Can you put the Miley Cyrus M&M
Thanks,
up
buddy.
too?
I will put the Miley Cyrus M&M up, but Dan, I need you to understand, I'm trying to edit this podcast in time to leave in... At this point, I am leaving in 2 days, and I will be in Seattle. I don't have a lot of time.
It sounds. Listen. That sounds like excuses, Noah. I believe in you. That's all I'm saying. You know you want to. That's the problem.
I do. I really want to.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's
get the
wrap
fuck
it
out
up.
of here. We talked about Audible already today. We don't gotta do that again.
Oh, we did.
We also trash talked.
Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BornRule57, twitch.tv/BornRule, and on Instagram at BornRule57. I had a moment of like forgetting it. Jackson, I know you're not gonna tell me, but I gotta ask, where can we find you?
Instagram.com/drogers321. It's my friend, that's Dan's Instagram. He posted today.
Good on you, Dan. I'm proud of you.
Go like his photo.
Give him a bunch of likes out of nowhere from people who do not like have any knowledge of him or vice versa. Make him feel special. Everyone should feel special once.
It's true. Just once, though.
Wait, G
you're on
Rogers
your own.
321?
D. Rogers.
Oh, D. I was confused.
No, where can they find you?
Where can they find the podcast, Noah? Then we can talk about you. Nobody cares about you.
My
Okay.
mistake, my mistake. You can find me at Bubbadabad, BUBBADABAD. You can currently find me frustratedly tweeting about the lack of access I have to Off the Air's Twitter account, which is twitter.com/theofftheair. You can get updates from us at facebook.com/OTA podcast and at patreon.com/offtheair because we're not locked out of those ones.
Did we do our shout-outs
Patreon?
this-
Oh my
Yeah, I was
gosh.
gonna say.
We got 2 shout outs. Okay. We got
Yeah,
2.
we do.
First one,
We do.
shout out to Emma. Best memer, Emma, writing us a fan fiction, which is the coolest thing.
Okay,
Jackson,
I gotta
I don't
say,
know if
she
you
got
read it.
she let me
I
read
did.
it like before she released it to everyone because she was like, "Hey, am I doing this okay?" The
I give it
characterization
a-
work on it is disgustingly good.
I think it's a 7 out of 10 interpretation of me, which is incredibly impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have never been more excited to be part of it.
Literally so happy. But we can't get too caught up on that because we do have to give a shout out to our newest patron. Cloud, thank you so much for being a patron. Like, freaking heck. That's absolutely
Thanks,
wild to
Cloud.
me. Wild to me.
Thank you for giving us all the money that you don't have. Listen, it's current year. Do any of us have money? I don't think so.
It's fair, honestly.
I have some money.
But yeah,
I spent $300 throwing out TVs yesterday.
you spent money
That was fun.
throwing things away.
Oh yeah,
It
that
cost
has,
65 cents a pound to get rid of cathode ray tube TVs.
Oh,
tracks.
It's just bad, man.
interesting.
Speaking of which,
Well-
now since Cloud is on the bonus content tier, we should probably make a new bonus content sometime soon, shouldn't we?
Let's make a
It's
new
been a
bonus
while.
content.
We should.
Wait, can I tell you about all the Marvel movies?
Yeah, I really
that's
do want to do
good
that as bonus content. We should do that like in the next couple weeks. So keep your eyes out, audience, for that when we get around to it.
Exactly. All right. Hey, thanks for listening today, everybody. Catch you next time.
Oh, did you Did you do the iTunes thing?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
If because it's not just Patreon that you can help us out.
It is true. If you want me to say your name, you can give us a quick review on iTunes or your other favorite listening site that lets you review. If you do, I will read it as long as it's not inappropriate.
And you have to send it to him if it's not on iTunes.
Yeah, if
because he doesn't
it's
check
not
the
on
other ones.
iTunes, I can't keep track of everything else. So send it to me, tweet it at me.
Or at the
Message
podcast.
it to
Although
me.
maybe not at the podcast
Not
right
at the
now.
podcast right now.
You can't do it.
But yeah, send me some stuff. Let me know what's going on, and I'll read it out. It'll be a good time. So yeah,
Nice.
that's the week, everyone. Here's to
That's
a
it.
strong season 2. This is episode 50. We're doing big things.
And we're gonna rank beers from now on.
We're gonna rank beers from now on. Very exciting.
Great. I see no way this is going to badly.
Bye, guys.
Bye.